What is a telltale sign that someone is a selfish person? Every bad thing you do to them is drama-worthy. Every bad thing they do to you are details and should be moved on from, and why can't you just do that? You're so dramatic. Why can't you just move on and forgive me? Or the classic is when you do something that pisses them off, you stop. But when they do something similar, never 100% the same, but they don't understand the nuance, they can't understand why that would ever upset you, and it shouldn't upset you, it's not that big of a deal. I'm trauma dumping here. Anyways. People don't take responsibility for their actions. It's insane the level of mental gymnastics people go through to assign blame to anything and everything but themselves when they could literally just be accountable and say they'll try to do better. I don't get why it's so hard for some people. It's embarrassing. Conversations don't feel like conversations. They are one-sided talks about what they want, their thoughts, their life, their priorities, etc. When you are able to slip a word in, your words are used as transitions in their dialogue. No matter how you format your words, they all just add to the plot of their story. What you say and what you do are pawns in their game to be manipulated in a way that belittles your experiences, actions, opinions, and choices. I see you've met my manager. When every single bad thing that happens to another person gets spun around into their personal problem, for example, I'm really upset because my family member is going through X. And that friend is too busy to care for my needs. Can you believe they didn't text me back immediately? Doesn't think they're wrong in the slightest bit. They can't shoulder any bit of responsibility. Look, it's not my fault that you can't do anything right. Very well then. I'm sorry you don't understand my point of view. They gladly take any favors you do for them, but when asked if they could reciprocate once, they get defensive and/or aggressive and act like you're the selfish one for daring to expect something in return. It doesn't make you a bad person to expect reciprocation in a relationship with someone else, romantic or platonic. Relationships are give and take, and that makes them healthy. It's not entitlement to expect kindness if you give kindness. If you're the only one giving, you're being taken advantage of. As some people have pointed out, doing something kind with the expectation to gain something from it can be manipulative. I'm not talking about narcissism and manipulation, I'm talking about the natural give and take in a relationship. It is not manipulative to expect certain things out of a relationship, depending on what kind of relationship it is. The whole reason we make relationships is because they give us something, whether that be support, love, safety, or other advantages. It isn't a bad thing, it's a human thing. Typically, with give and take, if you notice a pattern of one person consistently taking without giving, the one taking is the problem, not the one giving. The kind of people who use this as a manipulation tactic aren't the ones who stick around in a relationship for years, doing favors and kind things without being asked to. They're more likely to do one favor and demand twice as much in return. Why do I know this? I've had these people in my life, which is what gave me the realization I commented above. They respond how worse their situation is when you're sharing your problems with them. No try for help or listening, just trying to draw attention on their side. The complainers. I have a friend that is like that, and lately I have just been letting her talk, with dry responses such as "Oh wow, tough luck, yeah, you told me all of that via text," and I would talk only if she would ask me a question. Well, the hangout got silent super fast. And it seems she is no longer satisfied sharing the details of her life with me. If they always talk about themselves. I know many people that will just not shut up about their day an entire call, then just leave when you start talking about yours. Likewise, but some people just aren't aware that they're doing it. I've politely mentioned it to a couple close friends, and they've been way more conscientious about their behavior since. Life ain't binary and good people might have bad habits without knowing it, so try to help them is my way of thinking. Your mileage may vary OFC, hence me saying some people. They bring nothing to the potluck but are first in line. They brought Tupperware containers to the potluck to bring home. I'm mad when people don't bring their own containers. It means someone is going to take one of mine and never return it. I have decided to follow the advice of my grandmother and Reddit and begin saving containers for giving to others for leftovers. My ex was insanely selfish. Her dad gave her a $20,000 a month allowance. Plus paid for her mortgage on a penthouse in NYC while she went to Yale. He paid her car plus insurance. She had zero need for cash. All bills are paid. He also gave her a credit card with, I'm assuming, no limit. 'Cause we bought a car on a whim once. But I saw her steal $3 from a friend who was passed out. She'd steal panties from Walmart. She had a pile of cash in her bedroom. We once needed to pay for a delivery. If it was bagels or pizza, but she refused to touch the pile of cash. I had to walk to my car to get cash. And when I tipped her $10 for waiting, my ex went ballistic, calling me a bitch, a moron, and queer. 'Cause why would you give a random porky bitch $10 for $5 worth of food? We went to a celeb wedding. She found a way to take 4 gift baskets as opposed to the 2 we were supposed to get. Every guest got one. She also stole a $500 gift card to Victoria's Secret from the wedding. She's wicked greedy. If you are in a group and there is one person that is constantly interrupting the middle of what you or anyone else is saying, generally to brag about themselves with a one-upper story, is generally a precursor to stop associating with them. I've met too many of them in my days, and they are more often than not happy to throw you under the bus whenever the opportunity arises. The 11er type. You say you've been in Tenerife and they say that's cool, but they visited 11er. When anything that happens to them is the worst thing in the world, and whatever happens to you is not that bad and a waste of time talking about or dealing with. I know your mom died a month ago, but my best friend of 3 years died too, so I don't see why you are so sad all of the time. I think narcissism and selfishness go hand in hand, so there you go. Friend of mine was talking to a mutual ex-friend about how she was feeling shit because it was coming up to the anniversary of her sister's murder. The ex-friend responded that she was also feeling shitty and needed support because her boyfriend, who had been visiting for the weekend, had gone home. We both cut her off after that. Tell us in the comments what surprised you. Have you had similar situations? Don't forget to subscribe and watch our other videos.